Welcome to Chamber Talk. My name is Heath Taylor. I'm the President and CEO at the Dublin-Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, and we have a great program for you today. We have a lot of firsts for you today, I believe. I have Dr. Juli Alligood with the county school system here in Lawrence County, and we have Dr. Fred Williams with the City of Dublin School System, both of which are, I believe, in your first year, full year, in these positions. And this may be one of the first times that we've had an opportunity to have both of you together and to talk about some of the school possibilities and opportunities together. So thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to talk about a very hot topic in our community right now is the East Blast. And I have a lot of folks that come in my office on a regular basis, or if I'm out in the community, and I ask them, what is your opinion on the East Blast? Because this is very important to the Chamber of Commerce as well. And they say, well, Heath, to be honest with you, I don't know what East Blast means. What is that? So I would like to ask both of you, Dr. Williams, if you'll start, give us your best explanation of what is the East Blast.
The East Blast is a educational special local option sales tax, 1%, 1 penny. That is goes toward facility improvements in terms of education facilities.
Dr. Alligood, would you add anything to that?
Right. This tax, this little penny that we pay every time we go to Kroger or when we buy a car or whatnot, does help our schools out a lot in the way that we can do some capital projects and whatnot. But the thing that I wanted to bring out about this little penny is that 60% of what we get from the special localized option sales tax comes from outside Lawrence County, and I think that's an interesting thing to point out, that when people stop along the interstate at Cracker Barrel or come to Pitt's Toyota to buy a car or whatnot, actually 60% of these proceeds come from outside of Lawrence County.
That's fantastic to know. So let me ask you this, is this East Blast, is this an additional tax into the normal taxes that a resident of Dublin and Lawrence County would pay? Is this above and beyond, or exactly how does this tax work?
Go ahead. You go ahead, Fred.
This is a current tax that we're paying now as we purchase goods and services in our community, and so it's simply just an extension of that current tax.
Okay. But and I think maybe I didn't ask my question correctly. Is this a tax that voters vote and agree to pay, or is this something where the state comes in and says, hey, here's tax and you're going to pay this?
It's a tax that voters vote to agree to pay.
So, and we voted some years ago when we
agreed to do this.
And they'd be voting
for an extension on what's already there. We're not adding an additional penny. This is voting to extend what we've been doing for
something that's already been agreed upon. Okay,
yes.
That's interesting. Now, if you have this information, I know you're not the accountant, but can you tell me from the county and then from the city approximately how much money has been generated or is generated each year from this tax?
Lawrence County actually generates almost $500,000 a month. Now, a lot of people say, well, how much does the county get versus how much does the city get for in East Blast? And now, Fred, you jump in and correct me when I'm wrong now, but it's all based on FTE. And I think for this current period, it's been like 69-31 or something like that. So Lawrence County gets about 69% of the proceeds, in Dublin City 31, I think.
Around 30, actually 37, and we generate. Current would generate about 2.4 million total
for the year.
Yes.
Okay.
And ours is close to
Can you
6.
help me understand now why does the county get so much more than the city? How
well, like I
is
said,
that
it's based on FTE, so it's amount per.
for the students?
For the
Okay.
students
So so you have more students in the county, so
right.
there's more of the money that goes there. Okay. If passed, would East Blast pay for costs related to new projects and past debt, or if it does, what percentage goes to new products and or purchases, and what percentage goes to past? Is it?
Well, for Dublin City Schools, it'll be all going to pay for past debt at the high school and improvements that we have made at Dublin Middle School.
And for the county?
For the county, we actually, our debt that we have now is for the sports complex over on the east side. And that debt should be retired with this current SPLOST that we have right now. But we have to spend our SPLOST money in Lawrence County on pretty much a variety of things. For example, transportation. We run 88 bus routes. We have to have about 100 or a little more than 100 working buses so that we can get them all maintained and whatnot. The state gives us money, or has been giving us money for about 2 buses a year, and they've cut that this year, and so we'll get 1 new bus. So we have to spend SPLOST money on buses. Our county is huge, so that's a big, the SPLOST is a big help for that.
Right.
Geographically, we have a hard time running all those bus routes, and the money we get from the state just really doesn't cover our needs there. Also, technology. We've been able to buy technology with SPLOST money, which is also in our referendum. The state has a lot of requirements with testing and using devices for online testing, and with the number of students we have, we just didn't have nearly the devices to cover what our needs in that regard. Of course, also it's nice to be able to use that with instruction as well, but just to cover some of the mandates that the state has laid out for us with testing, we bought, I think, 1,700 Google Chromebooks last year.
Wow.
Just to help with that. So that's just a couple of things that we're using the money for. Now, obviously, we've put on a couple of new roofs on some of our buildings this year, and so looking at maintenance and things like that, I know I'm probably dilating a little bit more than I should here, but and I'm digressing too, but things that people don't realize, like even in regards to capital outlay and all, we get money every 20 years for floor covering. Now, I don't know about you, but the carpet in my house just doesn't last 20 years. So you can imagine in a kindergarten classroom or a first grade classroom that, there are needs there, obviously,
Right.
before 20 years roll around. Air conditioning systems. When a teacher's air condition tears up or the motor blows or whatnot, they call and, somebody comes out. Well, the state gives us money every 15 years to replace those. And I don't think our maintenance guy, Mr. Kemp, has ever told anybody, call us back in 6 years when we have money for that. So
Right.
those are things that our SPLOST money, does in addition to new construction. I mean, new construction is great, but I
Right.
mean, we
So
have to
you-
maintain what we have too, and that's huge for Lawrence County.
And you did mention technology.
Yes.
So, and I wanted to ask, because the Columbia County school system, where I just left the chamber, they have 3D printers in all of their classrooms there.
Right.
So is that something that could be purchased with
Sure. I mean,
SPLOST money?
any kind of technology pretty much can be covered. If you look at our referendum, we can buy devices, we can work infrastructure
Okay.
type needs too, and we have to stay up and current with those things just so we
Right.
can do state mandates, much less the gravy that we'd like to have.
And again, with the debt at the high school, retiring that debt for our existing project being our priority, all of those needs are realities for all school systems, and so those are things that each SPLOST would be able to satisfy.
Fantastic. We're going to take a short break. Again, thank you both for joining me today. We're going to hear from some of our wonderful sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Shopping for Chevys is fun, friendly, and fast at Dublin Chevrolet. Get a 2016 Malibu or Cruze at 2015 prices. Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
I'm Marshall Floyd, running for Lawrence County Sheriff. Lawrence County has serious crimes to confront and new challenges in law enforcement every day. The drug trade drives crime in our community. Crimes such as thefts, batteries, burglaries, robberies, and yes, homicides. Crimes against people. I've worked to solve these and many other violent crimes before. The experience gained in my 20-year career as a professional Sheriff's Office employee, experience that can be beneficial as Lawrence County's next sheriff, has no boundaries. Lawrence County citizens, are you ready for new leadership in the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office? Is an experienced Sheriff's Office professional committed to working alongside our community, dedicated to lead a new generation of law enforcement officers in our community's fight against crime, important to you? Lawrence County neighbors, these important questions are yours to decide with your vote on May 24th, 2016. I'm Marshall Floyd, candidate for Lawrence County Sheriff. Your choice for professionalism and experience to continue to bring progress to Lawrence County.
My name is Marshall Floyd, and I approve this message.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
Hi, I'm Jack Walker. We're very, very lucky to have two excellent candidates for Superior Court Judge. I'm going to throw my support behind Judd Green. I've known Judd since we were little kids, and I've known him to be a person of character and integrity even as a kid. And that's a character trait that has followed him his whole life. He's been a quiet supporter of our community through church, through charities, through coaching Little League for 24 years, and also through investing himself in at-risk youth. Join me as we vote for and elect Judd Green, Superior Court Judge, on May 24th. He has the wisdom and experience to serve our community well. Thank you.
Welcome back. We're going to continue our conversation today about the East Blast. Again, I have Dr. Juli Alligood and Dr. Fred Williams with me. And Dr. Williams, I would like to ask you on the East Blast. Dr. Alligood just shared with us about technology, about buildings, about flooring and things like that. Why can't East Blast funds be used to fund personnel or to help with furlough days for teachers or things such as that?
Because that's against state law, and East Blast is for facilities improvements.
Facility improvement, and is facility improvements alone? With or technology?
Technology, if it's stated in a referendum, technology would be an allowable expense there as well.
Okay, and so let me ask, you mentioned as stated in the referendum, is our referendum different from other counties' referendum? Is it written a particular way, or is that just a general referendum for anybody who approves East Blast?
Well, our sponsor attorney asks us for a list of our projects and needs that we have, and he sort of puts our referendum together, but he's also probably the attorney for a third of the state. So the referendum should look a lot alike across the state, because frankly, every school has a lot of the same
Right.
needs, Heath. I mean, you know.
And is this somewhere where it's clear for our voters that they can see, if I vote for this, this is what my money is going to?
By law, it has to be published in the paper every so often between February and May 24th. So
Okay.
I've lost track now. It's been in there probably twice already, and will be some more.
Okay. My next question, and we'll start with you on this one, Dr. Alligood, if you would tell me, how does East Blast revenue fit into your budget?
Basically, our school system gets money in 4 different ways. And Lawrence County has about a $62 million budget. So there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle that have to come together. We get federal funds. Of course, federal funds have a lot of strings attached. When you start getting into Title I and all that monitoring, all those components and those moving pieces, that's huge. I mean, we have a lot of things that have to be monitored for, $1.6 million. Yeah. But so all the federal funds fit together in a piece. Of course, we have no way of knowing how much federal money we're going to get. Usually we get those budgets sometime about midsummer. And of course, we're already now trying to put a budget together for FY17. So that's kind of a missing piece that we're having to sort of juggle all the time. Of course, we get state money, and that is based on QBE, and of course, it follows children. So the number of children that we have obviously impacts the state money that we get.
Okay, QBE for our listeners,
Quality Basic Education.
Quality Basic Education, okay.
And that's how funding has been done in Georgia for many, many years. They're actually looking at redoing a lot of that for FY18, so we'll have additional moving pieces next year. But anyway, so our state funds, that's the second way. And the third way, of course, is local property tax.
Okay.
and then spliced. So really the only thing that we can control is the local property tax. And of course we want to keep all of our citizens happy as well as ourselves. So we try to keep that, you know, as low as possible and still be able to meet our students' needs
Okay.
and our system needs. So the SPLOST dollars really help out in certain ways. Now, while there are a lot of things we can't pay for with SPLOST, if you leverage your funds and you really sit down and start building that budget and trying to fit those pieces of that puzzle together, you can more effectively, I think, leverage your funds having that SPLOST money. So it helps a lot with some of those needs.
I thought we had a tough time at the chamber balancing a budget. Dr. Williams, how does SPLOST fit into the city school system budget?
In a similar fashion as all school systems. She really did a great job of describing how it fits in, and the biggest moving pieces are the federal dollars. You never know from year to year how much you'll get in Title I, Title IIA, Title 6B, rural and low income, the McKinney-Vento, which is known also as the homeless grant, all these other different pieces that you have to educate the students that you have. You also get a certain amount for gifted education based on the number of gifted students that you're serving, and just the different types of learners that you're serving. There are particular pots of money that you use to educate those particular students in an attempt to educate all students. And so for every school system across the state, we're dealing with the same pieces of the puzzle.
So does whether you increase the number of students that you're working with or it decreases, regardless, even if you maintained, are you telling me the money fluctuates that you receive?
Particularly the QBE portion. For example, Title I really deals a lot with what is called poverty, so to speak, most neediest students and those type of things. So just because the school system has a larger number of students, they can still receive less Title I dollars than the school system who does not. But the QBE, the quality of basic education form of the way the state funds, that is based on the full-time equivalent student, the number of pupils that you have in your desk. And then as they look at it, they look at the needs of that learner. Some of your special needs students might earn a higher rate of funding than a student who is just a regular, what's called regular ed student.
Okay.
Then you earn for your CTAE, you earn a particular amount of funding there to fund those particular things. And again, this is how with the QBE, the property tax, and then the SPLOST, and then the federal funds, all of those parts are used to provide a quality education for the young people in the communities throughout Georgia.
Okay. The current SPLOST has been in place 3-4 years, somewhere right in that ballpark. If you would, Dr. Williams, you could start purchases with the SPLOST money under the current tax. What has been purchased for the city? And I know both of you guys have, again, been here a year, but what's been purchased?
Our SPLOST is used to retire the debt on the high school. And so that's the purpose that was designed for. So everything that we're doing with the SPLOST, we're looking to pay off Dublin High School.
Okay. And for the county?
In this current SPLOST, we have done a lot of different things. We bought, I think, 6 new school buses. We have put some roofs on some buildings. We have re-roofed West Lawrence Middle School. We have re-roofed the old West Lawrence High School. We're actually working on that one now. We're doing a renovation over at our vocational building on the east side. It has been neglected for some time now. It had the original paint in there from 1972, and so we're very excited about that renovation over there on the east side right now. And then we're actually doing an extensive renovation to West Lawrence Middle School right now. West Lawrence Middle School had been lovingly neglected for some time now, and so I'm very excited about that project that's going on, and that actually that will be funded out of our current SPLOST.
Okay.
And so those renovations are going to be going on this summer.
Okay.
So that's just a few things. We've, like I said, I think I mentioned the 1,700 Google Chromebooks and then some, I mean, a lot of technology over the last 4 years, because we used to get state money for technology, and there's nothing technically just earmarked for technology anymore. So that's left up to your local funds or your SPLOST money.
Okay.
So.
Should the eSPLOST not pass, how would this impact the county schools?
Well, as I was telling you a little bit ago, when you look at a budget and you're trying to leverage funds from different places, the eSPLOST allows us to do some of those things that we need for buildings, for technology, for transportation in the way of buses, and renovations that are just quite simply needs. And those needs are going to have to be met for our students. And so, as I mentioned a little bit ago, the only other funding that we have to leverage from would be the local property tax. We have no control over our federal money. We have no control over really our state money, except we've got to report things correctly, obviously,
Right.
you know, with FT and whatnot. But so we've got to meet the needs of our students.
Okay. Dr. Williams, for the city, if this eSPLOST did not pass, how would that impact our city school?
I concur with Dr. Alligood. We have no control over how much federal money that we will receive. Really, no control over QBE money. You know, just based on the number of students you have in the seat. And currently, our property tax, we're at 19.705 million. And so we don't really have a lot of wiggle room there. And the only other alternative we have would be imposing a bond millage. And
Explain a bond millage.
that's because we already have voted on the existing debt of the high school. It's been voted and passed, so we have to satisfy that debt. And the only other mechanism that we would have would be imposing a bond millage.
Okay, and a bond millage, is there a limit on what that rate could reach then, or how does that work?
It just depends on the debt.
So it could increase to whatever is needed to pay the debt?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Again, I appreciate you two taking your time today. Dr. Alligood, I know you've brought some props for us here. So we're going to take one last break and come back and wrap things up. And I appreciate you guys again. And thank you to our sponsors. We're going to hear from a few of them right now. Welcome back. Dr. Williams, I want to follow up on something right before we went to break. You mentioned these bond referendums and millage rates. Do you have any examples, or can you tell me where has this happened somewhere else?
One that just comes to mind would be Gwinnett County. They're probably around 19.8 in terms of their millage rate assessed on property taxes. Then I think, if memory serves me correctly, they have a bond millage rate also of 2.05, and then in addition to East Blossom, and so that's one example. I think Henry and Fayette and a few others like that have additional bond millage in addition to their regular millage rates.
And were these were to help pay for pre-existing projects and costs?
The bond millages for pre-existing can be imposed for pre-existing debt that the voters have already voted on.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify
Yes,
that. We've had a great conversation today. Again, I appreciate both of you taking your time and the wonderful job that both of you are doing with our school systems. Looking forward to continuing to work with both of you. And I would like to take a minute or two, give you an opportunity to just share any closing remarks. Dr. Alligood, I'll start with you.
Thank you for having us today. We would like everyone to come out on May 24th and vote. Of course, the law is very clear that we can't say vote yes for SPLOST, but we can give an accounting of what goes on in our school system and with our budget, and we try to be very transparent with that, and good stewards of the funds. So come out on May 24th.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
And I concur with everything that Dr. Alligood has said, and just again asking everybody to come out on May 24th. We can't tell someone how to vote, but we hope that we have stated facts today.
Thank you both for joining. Again, thank you for joining us, and I want to remind you on May 24th, come out and vote. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I want to remind you also that it's a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County.